Welcome to Business Connection. I'm Liz Spencer. I have Ann Rigby, and she's the founder and director of the Neuroconnection. You're right by us. I drive by you every day coming here to work, and I think, well, gee, I wonder what that's all about. But you're doing some amazing things, some cutting edge technology and everything at your place. Tell me a little bit about it.
We are doing actual brain maps of children with autism, and then we are training them in their deficiencies. So autism is a syndrome kind of inflammation. And what happens during development is the brain fails to form neural pathways that it would normally for language, for eye contact and social understanding and interpreting social cues, for being able to shift attention and focus in a way that's useful. And so that you get an array of symptoms that are problematic. And we are able to actually see where in the brain that those symptoms are at and why, because we use certain brain mapping techniques that are able to look at those neural pathways and see how they're formed. And this, what we do is based on fMRI studies and CAT and PET scans, but we don't do those type of very invasive tests in our office. We do something called a Quantitative Electroencephalogram, which is a QEEG. So it's a very easy test to do. It's non-invasive, and we place a cap on a child's head, and we're looking to see, with our analysis and the databases we use, how the child is functioning. And
from that, you're able to create something that's going to help maybe redirect those neuron pathways, if I got my tech terms right?
Yes. What we actually do is we're able to see how the brain is functioning and why those symptoms are present. And we're able to describe those in the maps. And we take the values from the maps and we input those into the computer so that the child can train and improve the brain, almost like weightlifting, and in a session, in a neurofeedback session. So over time, neurofeedback actually operantly conditions the brain to improve those neural pathways and increase the brain's ability to communicate with itself.
And you're doing this kind of in a fun way, like through watching a video game or a movie, so the child is really not, besides maybe wearing the cap, not kind of clued into what you're doing.
Right. The child, when they're actually doing the sessions, only has a couple of electrodes measuring brainwave activity on their head that's fed into the EEG and then into the computer. The only thing they know is that the movie is either playing or fading, or the game is actually moving or not. It's primarily an unconscious process, and they don't even have to be that engaged. They just have to sit still and watch. So it's not like they have to do any kind of exercises like they would if they were into tutoring or something like that.
Well, how neat is that? And major results for you?
Well, we're very fortunate because we work with this researcher and we use his model. We're very strict about how we do the neurofeedback. We are able to, because of the way we look at the brain, we look at abnormalities in the EEG and the raw data, we look at regions of the brain for communication, and we look at abnormalities in power in the EEG. And with all those three things together, we're able to come up with values that are very accurate in order to train the brain. So our results have replicated the studies that Rob Coben did with a 57% decrease on average on completion of 57% decrease in symptoms.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. So a typical client may get anywhere from 20 to 80% decrease, and we are able to tell the change that's made because we remap the brain and we can actually see the physical differences in the maps.
That's neat. And you've been embraced by the autism community. You're president of their board, or
the Autism Society of Illinois board. Yes.
So that's awesome.
Yeah.
But that's not the only thing you do, or the only thing that you treat at
No, we are able to really treat anything that is related to neuropsychological symptoms. We address symptoms of mood disorders, depression, anxiety. We also do a lot of work with attention deficit disorder. That's actually one of the more simple things that we are able to address. We do work with post-traumatic stress, and anything that what I tell people is if we can see it on the brain map, we can train it. If it doesn't relate to a symptom and we can't see it, then we're not going to even attempt it.
Well, let's see, and oftentimes with doing this type of treatment, you reduce the medication that someone might be on?
Yes, what happens is the brain will metabolize medication differently. So, for example, if someone comes in and they are truly attention deficit and they are responding to a stimulant medication, the reasons for that may be that there's too much slow brainwave or pre-sleep brainwave in the front of the brain where they're trying to concentrate, focus, and organize. And so when you do neurofeedback training and you reduce that slow wave, you're not going to metabolize the stimulant as you would before, and you're going to actually, be over-medicated. So as the person's brain improves, we have to titrate that medication down and work with the physician and let them know what we're doing so that they are aware and are able to move the medication down so the person's not over-medicated. Same thing happens with an antidepressant. As you improve that area of the brain responsible for the depressed mood, you're going to need to decrease the antidepressant medication.
That's awesome. And your clinic is located here in Naperville, but there's also, you train people on a home unit. Tell me briefly about that.
Well, for people outside of our area, we believe that we do pretty much state-of-the-art, especially for autism neurofeedback. And we wanted to bring that method of what we do to a greater area. So we devised a way to do home unit training. The client still comes to our office to get the brain map, but we actually are able to input the values into a laptop computer and provide them with an EEG, teach them where to put the leads on the head so that their child's properly connected, or it could be even, I have adults doing it too. And then we monitor them by Skype so that we can be online with them and we can see their EEG and we can work with them while they're training, even if we're not in the same location.
Wow, that's awesome. You are just cutting edge. The benefit that you bring people is so neat. Must be so satisfying for you.
It is. It's very, very exciting. And, I tell people, like, miracles happen in my office every day. It's so fantastic to see the progress between when a child comes in or someone comes in and when they leave. It's fantastic.
I bet. Well, Ann, thanks for stopping by and telling me a little bit about what you do at Neuroconnection, and it's a thrill and an honor to meet you. So thank you. We'll be right back with more Business Connections. Stay tuned.